We are live week 5. That kind of rhymes a little bit. Pete Nova
Mm.
here with the Face Off Sports Network. It is 8:43 in the morning Eastern Standard Time. We have NFL football here kicking off in London in just a few moments, 30 minutes, 45 minutes to be exact. Cleveland Browns taking on the Vikings. And honestly, it almost feels like I almost feel bad for London that this is the kind of product that they have to see when they finally get games over there.
Yeah, I always take pride in loving every single NFL game that's on, but by God, if there's a game that I don't give a crap about, it's this game this morning.
Yeah, the only thing I care about is if you spent up on defenses.
Sure.
You hope the Browns and you hope that some of these defenses, that they can come through for us. But yeah, we got an interesting slate of games here. I'm excited to see this Commanders Chargers game. Obviously Denver versus the Eagles. We'll see if Denver can pull off an upset. And yeah, it's always good to wake up. The weather's starting to change. It's kind of feeling like that fall weather, that kind of that comfy, just kind of throw some sweats and a sweatshirt on, make some coffee, get some wings, some buffalo chicken dip, whatever you like, and just kick your feet up for the games. And it's kind of where we're heading. Starting to get to that kind of weather. So feeling good. Feeling good. I am back from my hiatus. It's been 2 weeks since I've been able to jump on this show in the morning on Sundays. I've had some weddings and some stuff to take care of. Finally back here in the saddle with you. We got some questions that are loading up, as we always say. If you guys don't want to wait or you want to make sure that your question does get answered, because we do get a lot of these in the morning, feel free to send in a super chat. Make sure you like the show. And let's get this thing rolling. So I'm going to go to Jeff Marks first with the first question. Sent it in before we went live. He said, good morning. Pick one full PPR, Jordan Mason, DeMarcado, and Calvin Ridley. So Calvin Ridley, I guess, is dealing with some sort of injury. He's expected to play.
Yeah.
DeMarcado, they came out and said, they're going to ride the hot hand here. Maybe Bam Knight gets involved too. Michael Carter. I am not in love with any of these guys. I would go with Jordan Mason, but it's really more of just like, hey, I'm getting a floor here with Mason, and that's it, because he's going up against a Browns defense that's given up 70 yards a game on the ground, and he's clearly not the pass catching back in this backfield.
Yeah, no, Jordan Mason is the play for me. I want to stay away from Ridley. I mean, haven't got a ton of production from Ridley anyhow, really, to be honest with you. And then you couple in the questionable tag. So yeah, I think I'd rather just go Jordan Mason here. I feel like it's less of an opportunity for a complete disaster.
Yeah, I'm at the point where Ridley's droppable for me. I know I know there's going to be weeks where Ridley's going to eventually get it together. Maybe there's a possibility he gets traded. If you're holding out hope for that, then sure. But I don't know that they're going to take away pass catchers for their young quarterback first round pick either and trade Calvin Ridley, even if this team is a disaster. I mean, I would think,
dude,
go ahead.
Half point formats 4.7, 7.2, 3.2, 4. That's his point
bad.
output. It's like,
Yeah, it's not good. It's not good. I'm like I said, I'm comfortable dropping Ridley, and just moving on, but we'll see. DC said full PPR, Juwan Johnson or Brenton Strange. I'm going to go with Brenton Strange here. Strange is leading this team in yards right now. I know he gets a tougher matchup when it comes to the Kansas City Chiefs. Juwan Johnson, has had some really good weeks for us this year. Taysom Hill coming back. Don't know how that workload's going to be. He gets a good matchup, but I'm just going to go with Strange, who's been, consistently involved in the offense at least for the last 2 weeks, but he's had over 45 receiving yards in 3 out of 4 weeks. And he's had over 5 targets in the last 3 weeks as well.
Yeah, no, Brenton Strange would be the play here for me. And it's really not even that close. Back-to-back games with double-digit points as well. So,
yeah. Okay. Joe Carlton's in the house. What's up? He said Broncos win at 23-19.
yeah.
I hope so. Me and Joe have been talking on the side, and we'll see what happens. This is a Bo Nix jersey, but I got it from China, and it actually says XIN, so they spelled Knicks backwards. So, I bought 2 of these because I was gonna put one in like a glass casing,
Yeah.
and
That's
I was
hilarious.
and then it came out backwards, and I was like, "Fucking hell."
Someone's got some jokes over there in China. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, fitting.
Yeah.
But
That's funny.
SW Elbow said, "Morning, fellas. Just traded Jamar for CeeDee Lamb. Need to start half PPR. Josh Downs, Darren Waller, Torrey Horton. I wouldn't start Horton. And that's on the premise of look. I think he could have a good week against this secondary. With the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I kind of, if you want the safe play, it's Darren Waller. If you want maybe an upside risky play, it's Josh Downs for me. They're saying with AD Mitchell and what happened last week, there's a chance that he doesn't even like start in the 3 wide receiver sets, is what came out, and no Alec Pierce. So I'm curious to see 2 wide receiver sets if Josh Downs can finally get in there. But when Josh Downs is on the field, he's getting a target 1 out of every 4 routes he runs. And if those routes increase against a good matchup today with the Raiders, I think he could be in for a big day. So that's a risky play, though. Darren Waller is a safe play, and he's got some solid upside as well.
Yeah, I would be going Darren Waller here. I expect the targets to go up from 4, maybe damn near doubled with no Tyreek Hill. So, yeah, I'll go Darren Waller here.
Okay.
Don't expect 2 touchdowns again, though, folks.
No, probably not.
Yeah.
And I would ride him and in hopes that he stays healthy. That's my biggest concern with him, is just him eventually fading out. Shrey said, "Good morning, lads. Start Mason or Kenneth Walker PPR. Both tough matchups. Both are tough matchups. I'm going to go with Kenneth Walker here. I think it's a more competitive game with some scoring. They're home. Walker has looked up and down, but I know he can catch passes. And I know his team's going to have a chance to be in the red zone a decent amount. I just don't know what to expect with the Vikings Browns. It can go, maybe the defenses don't show up and it's a sloppy game and there is points. But I would go with Kenneth Walker in that Bucs game.
Yeah, I would go Kenneth Walker as well. I just like you said, I expect more points there. So, yeah, give me Walker in this matchup, and you guys know how I feel about Seahawks running back, so it's not easy for me to say.
Yeah. Black Rain 7920. Hey, I need one final starter. PPR deep roster. Sean Tucker, Isaiah Bond. Yeah, I'm gonna go with Tucker. I know Bond's usage has gone up, but I'll go with Tucker here. If they can keep that game competitive, I expect Tucker to get close to a 40%. I expect Tucker to get to close to like a 40% touch share. If it gets a little bit away from them, then I worry about Tucker. But I'll go with Tucker. I Bond could have a good day, but I think he's might be 3rd in this pecking order for targets, and I don't know what to expect of Dylan Gabriel against Brian Flores.
Yeah, eventually you and I are going to disagree on something on today's show, but not this particular question, because I'd go Sean Tucker as well. Listen, I'm not saying you're getting this output, but I look back to week 6 last year when Tucker got himself an opportunity and he became a waiver wire darling for a week or two, 32 points in half-point formats. That's not happening this week, but the point is when he's got an opportunity, while it's a rarity, he's done something with it. So, and I think he's obviously in line for opportunity today. So, yeah. I'd go Tucker here.
Okay. Let's see. Brendan, projected to win 153-98. I have the Chargers defense. Should I drop for the Patriots defense or hold? I happen to like the Chargers schedule rest of the season. I don't know what the schedule for the I have to come back to this. So I'll swing back to you, Brendan.
Cute dog though. Cute dog. Got to acknowledge.
Be growing stuff said hit the like. Appreciate it. What's up, brother? said pick 2, Pittman, Walker, Woody, or Chase Brown. Thank you. Yeah, I'm going Woody Marks. I'm going Michael Pittman. Pittman's been phenomenal. He was dealing with a hamstring injury, but he looks like he's good to go. And Woody Marks in this matchup. I mean, I do think Nick Chubb is in play here this week. I know it's a lot of
Sure.
become the Woody Marks show, and I've been someone that's been high on him too, but I do think Nick Chubb, I happen to have Nick Chubb decently high in my rankings as well this week. I think he's a solid play. So
Yeah, I mean the emergence of Woody Marks doesn't mean that Nick Chubb is all of a sudden dead and buried and forgotten about.
yeah,
I mean I agree with your picks, but I do think that listen, Chubb did have 13 carries last week. He's had double digit carries in 3 out of the 4 games so far. So yeah,
yeah.
but I would still go with same as you, Pittman and Woody.
Okay. And going back to that defense question, I guess I'd go with the Patriots. They have a good couple of weeks coming up. Ultimately, I didn't check the Chargers schedule, but the Patriots looks pretty good. The Patriots special teams unit's been really awesome this year. That's one thing that we're getting a change of this year, especially with DSTs, is I have to start factoring in special teams because we're getting more kickoffs. It just feels like special teams are just more locked in this year. Chargers get Miami, Colts, Vikings, Titans, Steelers. Yeah, I would roll with the Patriots in this scenario. If you're looking for one to hold. 2 super chats. We'll go to Jared first. Appreciate it, Jared. $2 super chat said PPR Mason, Henderson, DeMarcado, Juju, Hollywood, Brown. Yeah. I think I have Henderson ahead of Jordan Mason this week.
I've got Jordan Mason just a bit ahead.
I do. Yeah, I have Mason at 24. I have Henderson at 25.
Yeah.
But do you like Hollywood over any of them or no? I don't think so.
I like Hollywood in general, but over those two, no. So no, I would go Jordan Mason here. Juju would be on the back end of this if I'm putting everything together. But yeah, I would go Jordan Mason here.
Yeah, Henderson's interesting. I mean, I know the workload isn't what we want yet, but I mean, he gets a solid matchup in a game that if you think that the Patriots are going to lose pretty comfortably, then Henderson might be a good bet for the game script.
I feel like Henderson's going to be that guy where all of a sudden he's going to have a game that comes completely out of nowhere, and he's going to be on so many benches.
Yeah.
I just feel like that's going to be the inevitable thing for the TreVeyon Henderson breakout.
Yeah, I would say my answer here is Mason if you want a safe play. My answer would be Henderson if you're looking for a higher ceiling but a little bit more risky. Luck £2, I think, or
right.
euros.
That works.
Full PPR 2, pick 2, Mason, Stevenson, Carter, Charbonnet. Yeah, I have Stevenson 2 slots behind Mason. Honestly, like there's a world where Stevenson, yeah, I think while I'm talking it through, I'd rather Stevenson over Henderson this week. And I think I would play Stevenson over Jordan Mason this week. I'll be man enough to say it. I'll play Stevenson over Mason. Now, Carter, Charbonnet, or Mason, I guess I would go with Mason over the other two, but Stevenson's my favorite play out of these guys.
I'm going Jordan Mason, and I will go with Michael Carter to hopefully fall into the end zone.
Okay. Yeah, Michael Carter's tough. I mean, I have him behind Tony Pollard, Charbonnet, Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt this week. It's just tough. I mean, I could see a world where maybe he's ahead of Charbonnet, but it's a tough one. So
a little bit of fantasy football Russian roulette to see which one of those Cardinals backs is going to produce the most. This week.
This just feels like a week in general where there's going to be a lot of really gross players that are going to have big weeks, I think. And it's going to be frustrating.
There goes the dog.
Alicia's in the house. It's Smash the Like. Hi, gents. How's it going, Alicia? Appreciate you popping in. Civ said flex one, Malik Washington, Josh Downs, DeMercado, Bill, Njoku, Kendre. Yeah, I'm gonna go with Malik Washington. I like him this week. I get it. We haven't seen a ton from him, and maybe we're chasing something right here. But I like Malik Washington. I like him more than Downs. I have him just behind T. Higgins at wide receiver 33 this week. I don't know what to expect from DeMercado. Bill, same thing. Njoku, Kendre. I would go with Washington, and I'd feel okay about it. Yourself?
I'm not as well. I don't want to say you're bullish on it, but you imply that you have confidence in it. I would say Washington, but I would say by a hair over Kendre Miller for me. I just like Kendre Miller. I think he's going to start getting more work. I do buy into the whole trade rumors with Alvin Kamara. So I think if Miller's out there in your leagues, even if you don't start him this week, I'd pick him up if you have the bench space because I feel like something's about to happen over there. But I'll go Malik Washington, but I just wanted to give a proper shout out to Kendre.
That's fair. I like that. I think this is a big week for Kamara. I'm feeling, it's a great matchup. People have been down on him. The workload has still been there. It's just been on the ground, and it just hasn't been through the air like we want it to be. He's on pace right now, Kamara, for the lowest amount of targets since his rookie season.
Yeah.
And that was a season where he didn't play the full year either. You look at the rushing attempts, 21, 18, 15 in the last 3 weeks. So, volume has been there for him. It's just a matter of, just them using him. And it sucks that they're not using him in the pass game, which is where he usually makes his money.
Real quickly, how reckless is it? I am in a survivor pool with 2 strikes. I already have 1 strike. I'm choosing violence today, and I'm picking the Giants over the Saints. How reckless am I?
I wouldn't. But on the road, I know you like the Giants. I don't dislike the Giants. I would even consider throwing a little bit of money down on them this week, but I'm not ready to put my survivor pool pick. I got 1 strike as well because I took the Cowboys. I took the Packers in the Cowboys Packers game, and because it's a tie, I lose. I think that's so weird. A tie shouldn't be a loss.
That shouldn't be. I had the Packers in the Browns game. That's what got me. That was my
Packers
first strike.
screwing us both.
Right.
But yeah, I have the Cardinals in my survivor pool pick. That's who I went with this week.
All right. Proceed.
And it's funny because I actually would have went with the Rams this week, but I forgot to put my survivor pick in. So I'm glad that I forgot.
Bang, bang, Niner gang.
Yeah, I know. Mando said, have to bench one, QJ Pickens, Worthy, or Jefferson. Can't believe I might consider benching Jefferson, but leaning towards Pickens. Thoughts?
I would honestly be sitting Worthy here, to be honest with you. I get it. I get what he's saying, that he's considering benching Jefferson, and if you take the name value away, it does make sense, but I would actually be sitting Worthy out of this bunch if it's me.
Yeah, it's Worthy for me as well. Yeah, I would be benching Worthy. I have Worthy behind Tet at wide receiver 15, just ahead of Cortland Sutton. I have Pickens at 8. I have Jefferson at 5 still, and I have QJ at 12.
Yeah.
So
yeah, Worthy would be the play to sit.
Okay.
To not play. There you go.
Pollard or JK half PPR, worried about Broncos game script and Harvey load. How much do you expect Spears? I don't know how much I expect Spears. I'm looking here real quick. I don't like Dobbins or Pollard this week. I would still go with J.K. Dobbins though, against the Eagles. Cardinals defense. I don't know. The game could get away from Pollard and this team, and even still, Pollard and Dobbins are very similar. Both guys not getting a ton of work in the pass game, but I'll go with the guy that's playing in the better offense, which is Dobbins.
Yeah, Dobbins too, very solid. 14.8, 15.5, 15.3, 11.5 last week, but still 100 yards on the ground. The first week of the season in which he did not score a touchdown. So, yeah, I would go Dobbins here.
Yeah, Dobbins and Pollard are similar. They're going to be guys that you're going to be hoping that they score touchdowns. That's the tricky thing about both of those guys. If they're not scoring touchdowns, they're going to be a little disappointing, even if they look really good on the ground.
By the way,
So
folks, feel free to hit the old like button in there, and I'm going to drop in. We're going to do a DFS contest today. I will drop that in the comments.
sweet. Matt from Ireland, what's going on? Hey, congrats. Well, not congrats, I guess, but enjoy the game. I don't know what kind of fun stuff you might have planned if you're hanging out, relaxing
Well,
for the
Ireland was
games.
last week, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was last week. I don't know why I said that.
Yeah.
But either way, it's
have fun
only an
anyway.
hour flight. It's only an hour, it's only an hour flight to London, I think.
There you go.
Said Harvey or Cup, Kincaid or Goddard at tight end. I would go with Cup in this game. I like Harvey. I like what we've seen with the usage and stuff. I do think Cup against this secondary could maybe have a solid week. I don't really love either play, but I would go with Cup from a safety standpoint. And then for tight end, for me, I'm going with Dalton Kincaid at tight end 6 for me this week. Goddard's at 10. Goddard could have a good game against these bad Denver linebackers that can't cover. But Kincaid's been really good. And no one's really talking about Kincaid at all for some reason.
Let me get my words out. True on Kincaid, but Goddard. I mean, since he's come back after missing week 2, he's had 3 touchdowns in the last 2 games.
Yeah,
I go Goddard here, but it's a fair question because you are right. Not enough people are talking about Kincaid. He's doing very well compared to last year, falling on his face for sure.
yeah. I mean, he didn't have a great week last week against the Saints. He still scored a touchdown, two targets. He had 1 catch for 28. I like Kincaid. Fannin or Ingram full PPR. I'm gonna go with Fannin. Ingram targets were there last week, and that's encouraging. But I just don't know how consistent he's going to be in the offense just yet. I think they're still trying to figure that out. And Eagles have good linebackers that can cover. Fannin, I'll take him in hopes that Dylan Gabriel uses tight. I think they're going to try to get the ball out quick, and that might benefit Fannin. My heart wants to tell you don't play any of these guys and go try to see if Mason Taylor is available because I have Mason Taylor as a top play this week, and I'd rather roll him out. I have Taylor at 12 this week.
Yeah, I mean, if we can go with the route, choice C, as you were alluding to, try to find somebody else. Yeah, but if I'm starting one of these guys, I'm actually starting Ingram because I know what you're saying. Gabriel, maybe they'll get the ball to the tight end, but then you got Njoku and Fannin that are eating into each other. So it's just making me a little skittish with Brown's tight ends. I mean, there's production there, but it's who's going to get it. So
Sure.
I would go Ingram, but again, if you can look on the outside, see if anybody's available, we don't hate that idea.
Yeah, I think Van Ginkel is out for the Vikings. I have to check that out, but that's a tough loss at the linebacker position. Yeah. Javi's in here. What's up, brother? Appreciate the love, man. Man X said Tolbert or Juju. I mean, neither.
Juju, I guess. If I had to pick, gun to my head, I have no choice. I'll say Juju, but
yeah, I would say Juju as well. But I mean, that's terrible, man.
I hate both options with every fiber of my being.
Yeah, I'm sorry you got to go through that. That's tough.
Yeah,
I gotta imagine that there's something better out there. I gotta imagine there's something.
Feel free, go take a look and feel free to comment back, man.
Yeah, I gotta imagine. Debbie's in the house. What's up? Said good morning. Full PPR, need one. Harrison or Igbuka. Thank you in advance. Yeah, I'll go with Harrison. I mean, I'll go with Igbuka.
Oh, I was about to.
Yeah, no, I'll go with Igbuka here. I like Igbuka this week. He's a top 12 wide receiver for me.
Yeah, I'm going to Buka as well. I was going to ask you a question about Marvin Harrison, but I know we'll probably get some more Marvin questions in here, so we'll get to it as we go along. But yeah, I'm going to Buka here.
Okay. Simon said Fannin or Evan.
Already.
Oh, I guess he sent it in twice.
Yeah.
Nick said, "Hey guys, Taylor or Tremble at tight end."
Ooh.
I'm going with Taylor. I like Tommy Tremble, and it is a fun speculative play this week. I'll have him in some DFS lineups. But I'm gonna go with Mason Taylor, who I know, or at least I feel very confident he's going to have a role in this offense. And we've seen, we've seen him get targets the last 2 weeks in this offense. He played 80% of the snaps last week. He ran every single route for the tight ends in this offense last week. I'll go with Mason Taylor. I like him a lot this week. So that'd be my play.
I actually thought this was your burner account, Pete, because you've been talking about both these guys off air. So I was actually curious where you were going to go there, but I would follow your lead. I will go Mason Taylor as well, but it is close. But yeah, I'll go Mason Taylor.
It's not close for me.
Scored in that game, man. Jets and Cowboys. Well, I know you're saying it's not close for you.
Yeah, I like. Right. Don't get me wrong. I like Tommy Tremble. Okay. I would play Tommy Tremble over Harold Fannin, Njoku, Evan Ingram. I take a dice roll there over those guys, but I have him at tight end 16 this week. I just think like ultimately for me, Taylor, I just don't know. Tremble's risky. I don't know. But
sure.
Yeah, but that's how I look at Njoku and Fannin and Ingram. They're risky too. Yeah. Javi said, Ladd starts my wide receiver today. I'm terrified. Not much in the waiver. Slayton, Washington, Cup, Shakir down. Yeah, I mean, you got to play Ladd this week. I mean, it's a great matchup. I think the sports books have I think every wide receiver in that offense is like 58 yards is their line. So I mean, if you got Ladd, you got to play him against this defense to get with Washington. It's hard.
I will just say, while I'm not telling you to play him over Ladd, I do think Darius Slayton is interesting this week. I'm just gonna put that out there. I mean, those 2 games that Neighbors didn't play last year, I get a different quarterback, probably different play calling, but 26.2 points, 11.7, 11 targets in each of those games. So I am cautiously optimistic about Slayton, but no, you'd still play Ladd there.
Yeah, I'm okay with that. I mean, I like Slayton. I have Ladd at wide receiver 26, so I view him as a wide receiver 3 or flex play this week. But we'll see what happens. JC said start Kendre Miller over Jordan Mason. I would start Mason. I know you like Miller, Hoff, but I don't know if you're going that far just yet.
No, I'm not going that far. But I do love me some Kendre, but no, Jordan Mason.
Okay. Joe Carlton said, anybody starting Jaden Higgins today? I have 1 share and I have to force him out there. Think we finally get a game. I was a huge Jaden Higgins fan. It hasn't happened just yet. I do question the Texans and what they decided to do with drafting 2 wide receivers as high as they did, and their offensive line just being dog piss. And then these wide receivers just not being involved. Higgins did have a touchdown last week. What'd you say?
The targets. It was gross.
Yeah,
3 targets week 1. After that, he's
just not on the field enough. He just hasn't been on the field enough,
No shit.
I mean, 13 routes run is his most, and he's consistently sitting at about 12, 13. Yeah, I mean, it's a matchup. I'm assuming this is a pretty deep league, Joe, and you're pretty sharp, so I'm sure you have your reasons. And if my thought process is if Jaden Higgins is on the field and gets the opportunity, he could absolutely have a good day today. It's just a matter of I just don't know how much I trust the Texans to do what they have to do and step on the throat a little bit this week from for a reeling Ravens team right now.
Wicked smart, that Joe Carlton. Give him a little bit of love.
Logan said Juwan Johnson or look for another option. I like Mason Taylor more than Johnson this week. Yeah, I would roll with Taylor again. I know I keep talking about him. I would roll with Taylor. I roll with Darren Waller. I have Johnson at 14 and Mark Andrews right behind him at 15 this week.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it depends, Logan. I mean, who's out there? But yeah, I mean, you can look for other options. I also think that if you do have to start Juwan Johnson, it's not like you're like, crap, I'm screwed. But
all right. So you've talked about Taysom Hill. What's the deal here? I mean, what line are you starting him? I mean, you talked about, you threw out a tweet yesterday, he could score. Are you confident enough in a deep league in a tough situation to go out there and roll Taysom Hill out in your lineup?
No, it's got to be a very deep league. I'm more so saying that not in the sense that I would want to start Taysom
Yeah,
Hill, but more so in the sense where it could sandbag Jawan Johnson. Just like when you have a starting running back and you're on the 5-yard line and then they bring in the backup. Something to that. The old vulturing of a touchdown. That's more so what I'm thinking.
sure.
If I'm in a stunningly deep league, yeah, fine. And if I'm up against it, and yeah, all right, fine. I'll trot Taysom Hill out there. But am I going out of my way to saying I got to start this guy? No.
I wonder if they have lines out for Taysom Hill. Let's see.
Right.
So Taysom Hill rushing yards is set at 12.5, at minus 114 for the over and under. Receiving yards is set at 10.5. Anytime touchdown score is plus 200. Interesting. Yeah, well, I
Probably take
wonder what Jawan Johnson's touchdown prop is.
probably take the rushing yards, to be honest with you.
Yeah,
That would
I
not
mean,
shock me.
12.5 ain't much.
No.
Just want to see what is
Oh, you're yawning
Jawan
on us.
Johnson.
Jesus.
Wow, Taysom Hill has better odds to score than Johnson does this week.
Mhm.
Taysom Hill is
Vegas
plus
knows.
200. Johnson's at plus 230. But Johnson's made his hay with receptions and
Yeah.
target volume, so it hasn't been the touchdowns so far. Greg's in the house. Said, "What's up? What's up, Greg?"
What up, man?
G Fazaz said Rashad White or Kenneth Walker, Goddard, Jawan Johnson, both PPR. I'll go with Goddard. I like Rashad White this week. I do. I don't know where do you have these two guys?
I have Rashad White about 2 or 3 spots ahead of Kenneth Walker. So I would go Rashad White here over Walker. As much as I bash the Seahawks running backs, it is close. So and then tight end, I'm going Goddard. I'm pretty big on Goddard this week.
Yeah, I have Walker at 21. I have Rico one spot ahead of Walker at 20, and I have Rashad White at 19 behind David Montgomery.
Yeah.
I like Montgomery this week too. We have a lot of questions, guys. Feel free to send in a super chat if you want to jump the line. We're working through them right now. We're at about the 8:52 mark. We'll try to start picking up a little bit of the pace here, but if you don't have time to wait, send a super chat in, and we will get to your question. Said drop
Yeah,
Brent
that made good
Strange. What'd you say?
I said I like how you did that. That was good.
It's good, right?
Yeah.
Said drop Brent Strange and pick up Jordan Addison. It all depends on your tight end situation. I mean, if you have a
Right.
good tight end, then yeah, I don't think you need to roster two, and I would definitely pick up Jordan Addison. I think better days are ahead for Jordan Addison.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I mean, he only had one game so far, and
Yep.
he scored he scored 13.4 points in half-point formats. It's not a terrible way to start. So,
Well, he also got tackled on the goal line for like a 70-yard touchdown too.
well, don't worry about that part. It's fine.
I'm just saying, like he could have had more.
I could, yes, I know. But yeah, I like Pete said, if you have a tight end to play, then yeah, we don't really need Strange. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
KJ Frederick said, "Good morning, guys. My two
What up?
questions: better quarterback start, Bo Nix or Sam Darnold? And second question: better flex, Slayton or Henderson?" Yeah, I like Slayton over Henderson this week. At the flex play, quarterback is interesting. I'm not super high on Nix this week. I have Nix at quarterback 14, and I have at 15, and I have Darnold at 14. So I have Darnold one spot ahead of Nix. Darnold is one of my favorite flex plays this week. Not flex plays, my favorite stream this week. He's owned in like 36% of leagues right now. So yeah, I like Darnold this week. I think he could have a pretty nice day. Yourself?
Yeah, I'm gonna go Darnold here as well. You kind of alluded to earlier with a different question, but about this game, the Seahawks and the Bucks. I mean, points could be scored here. I know Darnold hasn't had a 20-point game here, but I would take Darnold here in this matchup. I do think Knicks will be okay, but give me Darnold. And then the flex, yeah, I'm going Darius Slayton, and I'm doing that with confidence.
Okay. We do have a super chat. We'll grab that real quick from Austin. Austin said, "Woody or Mason rest the season?" I'm going to still go with Jordan Mason, just better offense. I think better days are ahead for this offense. Jordan Mason, I will say, has a really tough schedule coming up, and I am trying to sell him everywhere that I can right now. But I would say is that the offensive line is really fucked up right now, and the quarterback situation is tough. And I think the offense is just a lot of moving parts. I think it's going to be tough for Mason the next few weeks. But with Woody, he's still in a really bad offense too. And I'm just not there yet with Woody. I like Woody, but I'd still go with Mason. I would sell if I had Woody and Mason, I would be comfortable. I would rather move Mason though, because you probably get more for Mason, and his schedule is pretty tough the next few weeks. But Aaron Jones also has issues staying healthy. Even if he comes back, there's the chance that I wouldn't surprise me if he gets hurt again at some point.
I would go Jordan Mason, but I would not be shocked if we revisited this question, Austin, in say 2 weeks, and if the answer was flipped. It's going to be all about what happens over the next few weeks. But Pete brings up a lot of great points with matchups and scheduling, everything else. But yeah, I would say Mason for now.
Okay. All right, let's go back to where we were. Scrolling up. Paul, what's up? Said, hey guys, I'm down 109 to -2. Not kidding. I'm sure it's probably because you started the Rams. He said, do I start Scadaboo? Yeah. Do I start Scadaboo or Marks this week playing for pride at this point? I would start Scadaboo. I think he's got a better matchup. And I like him this week as a top 12 play. Yourself?
Yeah. Yeah, and if there's anybody I want to go down swinging with that kind of attitude, I'll go Cam Scadaboo. Play for pride, make the comeback, make it happen.
Yeah.
Good luck, Paul.
Alicia said, are we still not liking Marvin Harrison Jr.? I could grab up Dowdle or Rachaad White to flex instead. Pittman, Igbuka, Ted are my other wide receivers. I do think that Marv is a top 24 play this week. I'm at wide receiver 24, but I would rather roll out Rachaad White or Dowdle. I think Dowdle is the highest upside play out of the three. I think I would roll with White if you're looking for a safer play, and Marv would be in the middle of like safe play with a solid ceiling. So do with that what you may, but I would rather start ultimately Dowdle or White over Marv this week.
Yeah, I would rather start White over Dowdle and Marvin Harrison. And I mean, I'm curious. What I was going to bring up is I'm curious to see what version of Marvin Harrison we're going to get. Remember we saw him catch that touchdown and how relieved he looked. I mean, is that the turning point? I personally don't think so, because I also think Kyler Murray's in the huddle. But I think eventually tides will turn and we'll start to like Marvin Harrison for what he is. I think we're still living off of the expectations and reeling off of that. But yeah, I'm going Rachaad White this week.
Yeah, I feel bad for Marv. I do. Yeah, it's tough. I mean, he's clearly mentally kind of not in a great place. It feels like right now.
Yeah.
So
I mean, you could tell by the way he celebrated that touchdown.
Yeah, I'm hoping that he gets it going. Maybe he can put back-to-back weeks together here. Ace of Spade with a $2 super chat said Myers or Flowers PPR. Yeah, I'm going with Jacoby Myers. This whole Brock Bowers situation is really weird, man. If for those that don't know, Bowers not playing this week. He's been dealing with I think a sprained PCL or some sort of injury to his knee. And the doctors say rest is the only thing that's going to help it right now. There's no surgery needed. And he's, pretty much went against what they suggested and has decided to play lately. And it hasn't gotten better. It's gotten worse. And it sounds like he's had a setback.
So maybe the doctors know what they're talking about. Imagine that. The other dynamic here is no Lamar Jackson for the Ravens this week. So, yeah, I'm gonna go Myers here.
Yeah, I do think Cooper Rush could be interestingly solid. He did look good for Dallas last year, in some limited time. Curious, and then I'll get to Jay with the super chat. Where do you have Flowers this week?
Flowers for me is right around 24, 25.
Who do you have? Olave, BTJ, Marv ahead of him, or
I have Marv just behind him, and I have the other two just ahead of him. Even though I feel like, it's always funny when you do your rankings because I feel like I shouldn't have BTJ. Like that should be flipped. I should have Flowers over BTJ. To be quite honest with you,
I don't know.
but I
I
do have
mean,
Olave over the rest.
I have Jamison Williams and Ladd ahead of his Flowers this week, and BTJ and Olave.
Yeah, I feel like I shouldn't have BTJ there. That might be a mistake. I might have to fix that after the show. Guy's given us nothing so far. Ryan
Yeah,
Thomas.
but the volume's there for BTJ. I'm buying him right now. I think better days are ahead for him. Jay, what's up? $2 super chat said half PPR, pick one, Coleman, Harvey, Tootin, Tucker. Thank you. Great show. Appreciate it, man. Yeah, I mean, Coleman's gonna have to go up against Christian Gonzalez, who I think is arguably a top 5 corner. Harvey, Tootin are interesting plays. I honestly like I would go with Harvey here. I know Trey Tucker's interesting because of no Brock Bowers. But he's too streaky for me. I'm not unless you're really looking for high ceiling with low floor. I would go with Tucker, but I'm gonna go with RJ Harvey here.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. If you're looking for the home run swing, you're looking for that ceiling, then yeah, it's Trey Tucker. But outside of that, I'm with Pete on this one. I go RJ Harvey.
Yeah,
not ideal options, but yeah.
Appreciate the super chat, Jay. Thank you. Make sure if you guys haven't already, make sure you give us a thumbs up on the show. Let's see, where are we at on our likes here? We're at 20 and we got 53 of you guys watching here on YouTube. So please give us a thumbs up. Helps us out tremendously. Helps us get to more people, answer more questions, and just helps us grow. Joshua with $2 super chat, appreciate it. Said 5-point passing touchdown super flex. Wentz, Rattler, or Cooper Rush. I'm gonna go with Spencer Rattler here. Yeah, I maybe that's. I mean, you're picking through some pretty tough matchups here. Pretty tough plays anyway here. But I'll go with Rattler here against the Giants secondary that I don't think is very good.
I'm pulling up one other thing here before I. You know what? Yeah, I will go Rattler. I wanted to go Cooper Rush here, but when I'm taking a look at some of the points that the Texans have given up to quarterbacks, I'm not in love with that. I mean, last 2 weeks they've given up less than 10 points to the quarterback position. So yeah, give me Rattler, but I got Cooper Rush right behind him. It would be Wentz on the outside looking in.
Yeah, I have it same. I have it the same. Quincy, $2 super chat, appreciate it. Said Cardinals versus Tennessee, Browns versus Minnesota. I'm going with the Cardinals. I have Cardinals as the #1 DST this week, and it's not necessarily like, hey, Cardinals are have the highest ceiling, but they have the best floor in my opinion, and they're playing at home. Against a Tennessee offense that's averaging like 12 points per game right now, taking a lot of sacks. And I ultimately would rather go with the Cardinals. I like the Browns defense a lot, but the Browns defense is going up against way more talent in the Vikings. And even though the Vikings are missing a lot of players on that offensive line, there is a world where I see the Browns, just not showing up on a international road trip. And it is good because this game is starting on 4 minutes. But that's what I would go. I would say go with your gut, though. I do like the Browns this week. I mean, they're my 4th ranked defense, but ultimately I like the Cardinals better.
Yep.
Andrew.
What Pete said.
Yeah, I figured you didn't have much to say there. Andrew Myers, $4.99, full PPR, 1 wide receiver, 1 flex. Xavier Worthy, Brian Thomas Jr., Jamison Williams, Scatterbuika, Hurts, or May. Between Hurts or May,
I'm still going Hurts.
Yeah, I'm still going with Hurts over May. I have Hurts at 5 this week. Behind Justin Herbert, behind Justin Fields.
Yeah, and I got May sitting back at 10. So
where do you have Justin Fields this week?
Justin Fields, I got at 4 this week.
Me too.
I like him quite a bit. This matchup.
Do you have Kyler ahead of May? Who do you have ahead of Drake May?
Let me see this. Give me 1 second. I believe I have I believe I have Kyler behind him. Let me see this. If I'm looking at this,
I have May at 7.
Mayfield, Daniel Jones, Jaden Daniels, those sorts of names. That's what I have sitting ahead of May right now. And then Kyler's actually just behind May.
Okay.
So I can never trust Kyler, man. I just, can't do it.
Yeah, I'm with you. Would you start? I mean, Daniel Jones is a tough one for me because the matchup is juicy. I have met quarterback 13 though. I have Baker, Goff, Prescott, Kyler. I have all those guys ahead of him, and Drake May. It's a good matchup though. But let's get to the rest of Andrew's question here. So yeah, I mean, I think we both agree on Hurts. One wide receiver, one flex. I would go with Xavier Worthy, and I would go with Emeka Egbuka, and then I would go with Cam Scatterbo.
Yeah, I would too. Xavier Worthy's interesting. I would love to say Brian Thomas, but he's just not giving us anything. So I'm gonna have to be boring, and I'm gonna have to agree with you again, Pete. Pete's just on the money today, even though he keeps fucking yawning and stretching.
I didn't yawn that time. I was just stretched. Beautiful, Andrew. Appreciate the super chat though, man. Means a lot. All right, let's see where we are. We are we're about 30 minutes behind on questions, so we're gonna scroll down and we're gonna do what we've done in the past. And we're going to start answering some of the more recent questions. Andrew said, thank you. No, thank you. Appreciate the generosity.
Yeah, thank you.
I'm going to answer Aaron. Freddie, I'll get to you, Andrew, in just a second. We just got 2 super chats, but I'll start back at Andrew. And if you guys are still here and your question hasn't gotten answered, shoot it over and I'll get back to you. But we're going to start more fresh at the top because we're about 30 minutes behind questions. And I'm not sure if some of those guys are still here. Freddie with a $5 super chat. Appreciate it. Said start Fields and play Jacory Cross-Merritt at flex or pick up Tolbert for flex and start Baker at quarterback. Limited 4-man bench. I would have to. 4-man bench is gross.
4-man bench is ridiculous. I hate it.
That's tough, man. I'm definitely going with Fields over Baker, and then I would go with Jacory Cross-Merritt. I don't know what to expect for Tolbert this week, but I'm not putting him in the lineup.
Yeah, well, either way, he would have to drop Fields to get Tolbert anyhow. So it's basically it's only 2 or 2. So yeah, give me the Fields and the Jacory Cross-Merritt side.
All right, I'm gonna pull this question and then I will be right back. But
what?
Why don't you answer? Well, I'll answer this one since it's super chat with you, and then I'll be right back.
Okay.
No, well, I'm saying you might want to hear both of us.
They buy homes near you, so 512.
Yeah, this is a long time listener.
Okay.
Flex 1, Mason, Diggs, or Henry. Non-PPR. I'm going with Stephon Diggs. I think Stephon Diggs I think we're getting to a point where Stephon Diggs is becoming a buy for me. It looks like they were doing a ramp-up period for him, and he looks like he's getting a little bit better each and every week. I'm going with Diggs here.
Yeah, I'd go Diggs here as well. Finally, last week, his first week of the season with double-digit points. So yeah, I would go Diggs here, slightly over Jordan Mason.
Awesome. So. Hey guys, so international game is getting ready to start, but your good news is you don't have to listen to the terrible broadcast by them, and you can just mute it and keep us in the background because that broadcast is usually terrible.
Where are we up to with the who are we starting at?
We're up to Aaron, and I will be right back.
Yeah, good. All right, so Aaron coming in here. What up, Aaron? Full point per reception, need a tight end and a flex. Darren Waller, Zach Ertz, or Devonta Smith. An unhappy Devonta Smith, by the way. I'm actually curious how that's going to play out in this game here against the Broncos because, I mean, we are used to A.J. Brown being upset over the last 2 years. Now we've got Devonta Smith voicing his frustrations. You have to wonder if the Eagles just keep doing what they're doing and win games, or if they try to accommodate these wide receivers. All of that said, I'll go Darren Waller in terms of tight end here. Then if I'm going with a flex, I will slip Devonta Smith in there actually as my flex. So yeah, that's what I'll go with here. Ertz and Waller are close though, for what it's worth. But yeah, I just feel like with Tyreek Hill out, they're going to need to lean on Waller a bit. No, this doesn't mean we're going to get Darren Waller of the Raiders, of years past, if people know, they know. But no, give me Waller, give me Devonta Smith there. Jessica coming in here. Fannin or Tremble, full point per reception. If there was no David Njoku on the Browns roster, my answer would be Tremble. Again, this game started anyway, probably. So I'm not sure if you ended up locking this in yet, but I would have gone Tommy Tremble here. It will be close, so the full point per reception, but yeah, Tremble would be the way for me. Simp coming on in here, full point per reception, flex one, Brian Thomas Jr., Rico Dowdle, or Chris Godwin. You know what I'm going to do here? And a little bit of talking out of both sides of my mouth, because Pete mentioned earlier that Brian Thomas has gotten the volume but hasn't done anything with it. Godwin had his first game back last week. He did get double-digit targets, which I like to see. I do think we're going to see some points in this Buccaneers and Seahawks game. This is not to completely dismiss Dowdle, because he would actually be second in my answer here. I would go Chris Godwin. Again, I like the targets. I think something will follow from that. I think Ibuka is going to be getting a lot of attention, understandably so. But give me Godwin slightly over Dowdle. We'll go to Jonathan over here. Tight end premium. Love me a good tight end premium. Zach Ertz or Brenton Strange. I'm going to stay Strange. I'm going to go Brenton Strange. Tight end premium league. Peter is back, so he can answer this as well. What do you think?
In a half point, I would go with Ertz, because
it's a tight end premium though. So
even half point tight end. That's kind of weird. Half point. So it's pretty much you get a regular full point, as if
you're getting a full point for the tight end, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah. I think I'd still go with Ertz, just because I think he's got a better chance to score a touchdown this week, with no no Terry. Sorry, no Terry McLaurin. That's what I would lean.
Sometimes that Ari guy on Twitter puts out the weirdest posts. Like, he just put out, Dylan Gabriel's parents live in Hawaii and are watching his NFL debut on TV today. Why the fuck wouldn't they be watching it? What else would they be watching?
It was because he came out and said that his parents can't make the trip.
Okay, so they're watching the game.
Yeah.
It's like, well, we can't make the game, so maybe we'll just go to the fucking library instead. Whatever. Of course, they're gonna watch the game. It's their goddamn kid.
Wow.
Anyway,
that was a really interesting play call by the Browns.
Oh, okay.
The Browns they motioned Dylan Sampson, they looped him around behind, like they motioned him across, and then he did the whole loop around, and then like jetted out. They faked a screen to him, then they faked a screen to Judkins, and then they dumped it off to Njoku. It was really weird. It was a good play call. All right, sorry about that. Where are
we're
you?
Up to
Irish?
Irish, yeah.
Irish, need one. Bill, Hendo, DeMarcado. I'm gonna go with Henderson here over Bill.
I'm gonna go Bill over Hendo.
Okay.
Yeah.
Brandon said DeMarcado, Michael Carter over Troy Franklin the flex. I would not play Franklin this week. I would go with one of those running backs. I happen to have DeMarcado at 33, Michael Carter at 31. Yeah, I'd go with Michael Carter.
Yeah, I'm going to go Carter here, because I feel like Carter is going to get more of the goal line work, to be honest with you. So that's what would make me lean Carter in this one.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Kashawn got Kyler Murray or Daniel Jones. I'll go with Kyler.
I'm going Daniel Jones.
Okay.
That's it. I mean, Daniel Jones is in my top 10. Kyler is not. So there's your answer.
I get it. I mean, the game script for Kyler could get away from him if they're playing well. Jones might be in a more competitive game, but you could also, I think, make the case too that Jones and them might beat the piss out of the fucking Raiders.
I will just say, before we move on to the next question, if Jones doesn't have a great fantasy week, we might finally start to have a conversation to ask, is Daniel Jones coming back to earth, at least in terms of fantasy? I mean, after 20 points in week 1 and week 2, he's gone 15.8 and then 10.4 last week. So if it's a dud of a week,
fucking him over, it really didn't help.
Well, yeah, they didn't help. It's true, but I mean, the points are the points. Yeah.
No, I'm with you. I mean, that's just what it is. You can't just give him points. No, I think it's a fair point. Jenny Whipple said, Josh Downs or Keon Coleman, also Dak Prescott or Jackson Dart. I'm gonna go with Prescott over Dart. I know you're a
Mm.
big guy this week. I don't know. Are you that far?
No, I'm a Jackson Dart guy, but I'm also a realist. No, I mean, this Jets defense has been getting carved up. I think there's going to be points scored in this one. So no, I still go Prescott.
Okay. Yeah,
Yeah,
and I would go with Josh Downs over Coleman.
same. Yeah.
Stacks, Kamara,
Mm.
Sutton, Pittman, half point PPR. I would go with Michael Pittman. Then I would go with Kamara, and then I'd go with Sutton.
Wow. I would go Sutton, Pittman, Kamara. I'm just you referenced earlier that you thought maybe this would be a game for a game for Kamara here, but I'm definitely afraid of the lack of targets and what's going on over there. And I'm of the philosophy that Kendra is going to start getting some more work quietly.
Sure.
So I'm going to go Sutton here. Um, n- Not a great matchup, but yeah, Sutton, Pittman, then Kamara.
Okay.
It's pretty close
Um,
between Sutton and Pittman too, to be honest with you.
yeah, I mean, I have Sutton decently high. I have him at 16. I have Pittman at 12. I just think the matchups, both guys have been extremely involved in their offenses,
Sure.
but Pittman's got much of a more favorable matchup. So that's kind of the tipping point for me. Uh, honestly, I think at the end here, if questions slow down at some point, we can definitely start building out some DFS lineups too.
Oh,
Um,
sure.
but the Smitty said Godwin or Diggs this week. I have Diggs at 26 this week. So I happen to like him a lot. I would play him over Godwin. I have Godwin at 29.
Honestly, this is one of those stupid things. Listen, sometimes you're going to have rankings, but you have different answers. Sometimes I'm going Godwin over Diggs. I like the 10 targets in his return.
Mhm.
You talked about ramping up Diggs. I mean, Godwin right away, they target him 10 times. And we keep referencing we think points are going to be scored in this game. So I'll go Chris Godwin here slightly over Stephon Diggs.
Okay. Jefferson with a nice play. I had somebody in my league trade Justin Jefferson away for Quentin Johnson and J.K. Dobbins.
Oof,
I think
that's
that's
where we're at,
terrible.
huh?
I mean, I
Mm.
like Quentin Johnston, and I think he's going to continue to have a solid year. But I am not going to bank on him finishing rest of the season ahead of Justin Jefferson because he's had a
No,
really strong start. Like I'm
no.
not there. And Dobbins, I look at Dobbins, who just had a smash matchup against the Bengals, had 100 yards and still only had 11 points. Like he's not going to have that. I don't think that receiving work, which clearly looks like they want Harvey to be that guy. So yeah, I think that's terrible,
Yep.
but
Same.
whatever.
Good times.
Index said Diggs was a buy before the revenge game. Yeah, I mean, I don't really care for the revenge game narrative too much. I just think ultimately, I think they're just going to continue to start ramping him up more.
There's a puppy
Um,
dog.
yeah, I know. My dog just freaking sprinted in here. Danny Finn's fan said, by the way, Dodgers suck, hate them, they cheat. Yeah, sorry, buddy. I know. I know you're a Phillies fan as well. Tough, 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 tough. We're not going to talk about that today. Um, Aaron said full PPR need to flex tight end. Zach Ertz, Darren Waller, Devonta Smith, Troy Franklin, Isaiah Pacheco. Yeah, I would go with Zach Ertz, and there's a world where I would consider Darren Waller over Devonta Smith,
Yeah, I
but I'm
think
going to go with Devonta Smith.
yeah, Aaron asked the first portion of this question when you went to the Banyo or actually wherever you got up to go to.
Yeah.
And my answer was Waller and then Devonta Smith that was
Okay.
my answer. The second
Yeah.
part of the question is he didn't ask it.
So how high do you have Ertz this week? You don't have him that high, then I guess.
I got him. I got him like a spot or two behind Waller because again, I just feel like the Dolphins are going to lean on Waller a bit more, you know, in this matchup. Yeah, we'll see if Waller can take it. I think you referenced that earlier. Um, you know, we'll see how far they can push Waller, but I just feel like more targets are going to happen here. They're going to have to make up for the loss of Tyreek Hill in some form or fashion, and we can't trust Jalen Waddle to stay on the field all the time either. So
It's fair.
that's kind of where I lean there.
Okay. Cam, what's up? Said good morning, broski. Full PPR, start two, wide receiver, two flex, Debo, Pittman, Harrison, Olave, Brees Hall, Chase Brown, AJ Brown. I'm going Debo and Pittman for the wide receivers. I'll go with Brees Hall at the flex, and then I would go with AJ Brown, maybe Chase Brown. I would consider Chase Brown, but
I was going
I
to say AJ.
yeah, I think I'd roll AJ in this spot.
And I actually debated while you were internally right there, just debating Chase Brown or AJ Brown. I was debating AJ Brown or
Oh
Marvin
wow,
Harrison.
Marv.
Yes, but I would definitely do Debo. I would do Pittman, Brees Hall. Those are my lock-ins, and then yeah, I think I would do AJ Brown there. As I referenced that earlier when you got up to go to the bathroom, I wonder what's going to give here with the with the Eagles wide receivers. They both seem unhappy. Do they try and accommodate them, or do they just keep doing what they're doing and that's stay undefeated? So I'm curious to see what kind of work those guys get today.
Yeah, I also think with a competent offense against Denver, I think Devonta Smith could have a solid day. It wouldn't surprise me if AJ doesn't again have much, and it's Devonta Smith who ends up looking good, and Goddard the other ancillary pieces.
Sure.
Just one of those things, man. The problem with AJ Brown is that they're just their route tree is Jordan Mason with a fumble.
Oh, great.
That's good. Browns ball at the Vikings 47. And Judkins. Oh baby. Browns in the red zone. All right, let's get to James O'Shea here real quick. $5 super chat. Appreciate it. James said Daniel Jones or Jaden Daniels, Wandale or Keenan Allen, half PPR. I'm going with Keenan Allen comfortably over Wandale Robinson. I like Wandale Robinson. I'm not there yet to bench Keenan, who's been hot over him in a good matchup. And I would go with Jaden Daniels over Daniel Jones this week as well.
We are agreeing way too much today, but yes, I would go with the same options. And I do like Wandale, but again, I like Slayton over Wandale this week. So yeah, that's why I'll stick with Keenan Allen. Plus, Keenan Allen's been playing fantastic, as Pete referenced. So yeah, give me Allen, give me Jaden. Jaden's healthy. Jaden's out there. He's one of the best quarterbacks in fantasy football.
Yeah.
Let's not overthink this.
Yeah. Judkins looks freaking phenomenal, man.
Yeah, they say he just had a 32-yard run.
Yeah, he just had another really good run. He just bulldozed. Well, I guess not technically bulldozed, but he freaking laid the wood for another 8-yard run down at the goal line here. Let's hope for some points. All right, let's try to rip some of these a little quicker here. Index said Ibuka, Pickens, Debo start 2.5 PPR. I'm definitely starting Pickens, and I would. I think because it's half PPR here, I'd go with Debo over Ibuka.
Really?
Yeah, I think in a half PPR, I'd go with it. I think I'd go with Debo over Ibuka.
I'm going Ibuka and I'm going Debo. It's close up between Pickens and Debo for me. Ibuka's the guy I'm putting out there.
Is it crazy that
yeah.
I have Jalen Waddle as my wide receiver 9 this week?
Yes, but that's also because I hate Jalen Waddle.
I have him ahead of Johnson, Ibuka, Tet. I mean, I have so much fast draft exposure to Jalen Waddle.
You don't have Ted McMillan ranked number 1? I thought that was like a fixture in your weekly rankings.
Tet's got such a good matchup, man. But
I know I'm fucking with you.
That offense is way worse than I thought they were going to be this year, man.
Worse. You looked at the back end of the Panthers season last year and you thought maybe Young was getting a little more comfortable in that Dave Canales offense, but so far not so much.
No, they've had a lot of injuries too. It's tough. Index Rachaad White or Rico Dowdle in a half PPR as my RB2. In a half PPR, I'd go with Rico here over Rachaad White in the RB2 spot.
I'm going Rachaad White either way, but it's those guys are right next to each other.
Yeah. Ryan said Pollard or Michael Carter half PPR. I'd go with Pollard here over Michael Carter, but it's. I mean, I'd be lying if I told you it's not close.
It might have been from somebody else. I'm going Michael Carter here.
I have Pollard at 29. I have Carter at 31.
I just feel like we're gonna see Carter fall into the end zone, which is gonna make the day.
Yeah, I think that's very possible. Maybe I need to reconsider that, but it's. I mean, I don't know. It's tough. I have Nick Chubb for what it's worth ahead of Michael Carter this week and Tony Pollard. But we'll get to you, Jonathan. IU Manor or Kelsey in the flex. I'll go with Kelsey over IU Manor. I think more chance to score touchdowns.
Yeah, Travis Kelce is not what Travis Kelce once was, but that doesn't mean we're starting Ayumana over him either. Let's not
Yeah.
get crazy.
I just saw Travis Kelce traded for a 2027 fourth round pick in a dynasty yesterday, which I thought was absolutely ridiculous.
Is that the Dynasty Degenerate League? Yeah.
No, that's in Matt's league.
Oh. Okay.
I thought that was absolutely ridiculous. I mean, I don't know how you're that low on him. I mean, I'm not high on Kelce, but I mean, a fourth 2 years from now.
That's what I'm saying. Like, who knows if the league's happening? And
it's a fourth. Either way, I wouldn't trade him for a fourth. I mean, come on, it's terrible. But bad trades happen in every league. Jonathan said 1 tight end premium, 1 point tight end premium PPR. Andrews or Waller. I go with Waller, and Harold Fannin with a touchdown. Dak or Fields this week? I'd go with Fields.
I'd go Fields, but yeah, love them both this week.
Malik or Calvin Ridley? I'll go with Malik Washington.
Yeah, can't believe I'm answering that, but yeah, I would go Malik over Calvin. Like, what the hell's going on over there in Tennessee? Fucking,
I don't know, man.
I mean, we talked about the Panthers being a shit show. Like,
yeah,
it's rough.
Yeah.
Like, I wonder, like, do Titans fans wake up in the morning and do they just like start drinking vodka on Sundays? Like, do they just start the day and like, fuck it, maybe I'll black out by halftime?
There's a funny meme that Chev had posted the other day, and it was like it's like a kid on the ground or something, and it's a dad walking in with a belt, and it's a Titans logo over his face, and it's like it's game day or something like that. Oh man, it's so fucked. Judah said Sutton or Myers. I really heavily considered putting Myers ahead of Sutton this week. I have Myers at 19. I almost put him over Jamar Chase, so I have Chase at 18. For what it's worth, I think this could be a day where Chase and that Bengals offense looks okay, actually. But that's where I'm at. Yeah, I'll go with Sutton over Myers.
Same. I mean, I do like Myers this week, but yeah, I would go Sutton just a little bit ahead.
Yeah. Lin Sue said, drop Tootin to make space for Spears. PPR, not stashing either, but looking ahead, I would rather keep Tootin over Spears.
Yeah, I think you're just kind of. I mean, I don't think there's a huge difference in my opinion to make the move. I would hang on to Tootin.
Yeah. Let's see, Jason. What tight end to start this week? Rest of the season. I like Ertz over these guys that you've shared. I like Ertz rest of the season over the guys you shared as well.
But I mean, this week you like Mason Taylor.
I like Ertz over Mason Taylor this week.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, I have Mason Taylor at 12. I have Ertz, I think, at like 9.
I would go Ertz as well with this answer.
Okay. Daniel Caps, fellas, 2 PPR, Flex Sutton, Rachaad White, Tyler Warren. Thank you. Nice picture.
Yes. Well, I'll stay away from it, but yeah.
Yeah. Tyler Warren has to play this week. I think he's in line for a monster day. And then it's Rachaad White or Sutton. I think if you want the safer play, I think you go with Rachaad White. If you want the higher ceiling, I think you go with Sutton.
Yeah, I got to be honest. I hate how much we're agreeing on today's show, but that's literally what I was going to say. So, but yeah, I agree. I think Warren has a big game today.
Yeah, me too. I have a lot of exposure to him in fast draft. Jason Ortiz, start 2, White, Wandale, Shakir, Rico, Pollard with Spears back, Imari with Carter split. Yeah, I mean, I'm going with Rico, and I would go with White.
God damn it. Yes. Okay.
That one wasn't too tough, though.
Yeah, that was okay. It was a bit of a layup.
He also said White, Rico, Javonte, Carter. So I don't know if this is a different team, but I would go with I think I would go.
I'd go Javonte in there.
Yeah, no, I'm definitely going Javonte, but it's a matter of either Rico or White. I would go with White over Rico.
Did he reference if this was half point or full point?
He did not. No. Just assume PPR.
I'll go Javonte and I will go White.
Okay. He also said start 1, Pittman, Rico, or Chubb. I'm going with Pittman.
Yeah, Pittman. That's an easy one.
Yeah, Bo Nix or Darnold. I think we both said Sam Darnold,
Yeah, yeah.
but it's by one spot for me.
Yeah, no, it's not far off, but yeah, no, I'll go Sam Darnold. I think he
Okay.
gets his first week with 20 fantasy points this year.
Um,
And we had this one too.
we did, yeah.
I went with the hell was it? Sutton, Pittman, and then Kamara was the order I did.
Yeah, I went Pittman, Kamara, Sutton. Xavier Scott time. Yeah, well, looks like actually it's neither in the backfield right now. I don't even know who that is.
It's no one's time.
It's 36. I don't even know who that is. It's not Xavier Scott. And it's not Jordan Mason. Cam said Kraft over Ertz rest of the season if Daniels is healthy, right? Yes. Brian, full PPR, Dak or Murray.
Dak
what do you-
Prescott.
Yeah.
I'm not even thinking about it. It's Dak Prescott.
Yeah, I'd go with Dak too. I'd go with Dak as well.
I mean, guy had 31 points last week. No CD Lamb.
The defense is terrible too.
Yeah, which helps. Yeah.
Yeah. Woody Marks or Rashad White? I'm actually going Woody Marks here.
Yeah, I'll skate there. Yeah, we could make that be a thing. We could do that.
Godwin or Diggs? I think we answered this before. I said Diggs. You said Godwin.
Yeah, I said Godwin. Yeah.
Yeah. BTJ or Godwin in half PPR? I'm going BTJ.
I'm at the point where I need Brian Thomas to show me that he's got a pulse. I'm going Chris Godwin here.
Fair.
Yeah.
Jaden Daniels or Drake May? I'll go with Daniels.
Yeah, Jaden Daniels.
Tyler, hey, start 4 PPR. Javonte, Etienne, Waddle, Olave, Monty. I'm definitely going. I'm going with Waddle. I love Waddle this week. I'm going with Javonte. I'm going with Etienne, and I'm going with Montgomery. And White and Olave can sit on the bench for me.
That's actually fucking hilarious because I'm going with all of those options as well. I'm just not as high on Waddle as you are.
Sure.
Montgomery, I'm not sure if anybody watches the Kay Adams show, but I did bet him to score a touchdown. His sister is going to be in the crowd today, and she's, I believe she's now paralyzed from a car. I'm going to buy into the whole narrative, and they're going to try and get Monty into the end zone there.
I think this is hometown for him as well. This is the first time I read that he's playing in front of in his hometown in the NFL. So I could be wrong about that. Michael said full PPR. Have Juwan Johnson worried about it. I can go Mason Taylor. I'm going Mason Taylor. Morden pick 3. Genty, Scadaboo, Kamara, White, Marks half PPR. Yeah, I'll go with Genty and Scadaboo. And I will go with I'll go with Woody Marks and a half PPR. Actually, no, I'd go with Kamara still. I'd go with Kamara, Scat, and Genty and half PPR here. You? I can't hear you. You're muted.
Yeah. No, sorry. I had some technical difficulties before. Yeah, I would go Genty, Scadaboo, and I'd go Woody Marks here.
Okay, so I'd go Kamara, you go Marks.
Yeah.
Marvin said, not sure this is answered, but Kamara or Debo at the flex. I'd go with Debo.
Yeah, I'm going Debo. Man, I hate this because I usually love Kamara, but I am worried about the guy.
I think a big week for him this week. I'm telling you.
I hope so. I would love it.
Tyler said Waller, Jawan. I'll go with Waller.
Yep, same. No 2 touchdowns, but I think more targets.
Yeah, Kelsey or Hunter Henry. I'll go with Hunter Henry. He's just too hot right now.
Yeah. Yep. Ride that hot hand.
Extended bags. Will you accept this trade? You give up McConkey. I get Pittman. Yes, I would take Pittman over McConkey rest of the season.
Yeah, I think I would too. I mean, because at least now, McConkey can come back to start being relevant, I should say. But I mean, I think Pittman is showing you what he could do if he's got a quarterback that actually has a pulse. So, yeah. So Pittman.
Yeah. And for what it's worth, McConkey's running. I think he's running the most routes on this team, and the targets are there. It's just
not happening.
Yeah, just not happening right now. Michael said full PPR. I have Juwan Johnson. Worried about the injury, Mason Taylor. Okay, yeah, we answered this. I would drop. I could drop Pacheco, Kenny Miller, Dakota. I would drop Johnson for Taylor. I'm fine with that. I get it depends who your running backs are, man. I think like it's tough because DeMarcado, like I don't want to drop any of those running backs until I see one of them them today. Kendra Miller's eating into this. Pacheco stinks, so like
Yeah,
you know,
I
but
was
it's
gonna say,
there's a world that
yeah.
he has he still has a higher workload than Miller and DeMarcado. That's where I struggle.
Yeah, but it excuse me, I'm trying to clear my throat there. But it's also what is he doing with that workload?
Yeah,
Like, I get it. We preach opportunity. I tend to lean on that a lot. But I mean, he's not doing anything with the opportunities he's getting. I mean, he had double digit
yeah,
points last week, but outside of that, it's been gross. If I would drop Johnson, but point being is if I'm not dropping Johnson, if I'm dropping one of the backs, I would drop a Checo. Me
yeah,
personally.
yeah. I'm with you. I'm with you. Terry, full PPR, IE Manor, Michael Carter at the flex, also Strange, or risk it with Waller at tight end. I prefer Strange over Waller this week. And Michael Carter or IE Manor, I'll go with Carter.
I'll go Carter and I'll go Strange as well. I'm just gonna I was just gonna say I don't think it would be a risk to start Waller at tight end today. I still like Waller, but I like Strange more. But just
Yeah.
whatever.
Okay.
I'm just nitpicking the wording.
No, it's fair. Derrick Henry or Genti. I would go with Derrick Henry still.
Yeah, I'm going Derrick Henry still. They could try maybe they actually lean on the guy this week. So
Yeah. Yeah. Do you like Scadaboo over Henry and Genti? Because I do.
Scadaboo over Derrick Henry this week?
Yeah.
No.
Okay. I have Scad at 11.
Okay.
I have Javonte at 9.
Shit. All right. I mean, I like it. I like it.
Yeah.
So far, I've gone through a Starbucks coffee, a seltzer, and I'm almost done with a Pedialyte. Next up's a Gatorade Zero.
It's a lot of
Should be fun.
sugar. Actually, no.
Well,
Pedialyte, it might
well,
have a decent amount of sugar.
Well, this is a zero, so the Gatorade.
Oh,
so-
yeah. I know. There's the artificial sugar is so much better.
Fuck you, man. Read the question, will you?
Mims for the return points or hope I would hope McConkey steps up in a big,
Yeah.
much better matchup.
Same.
Stacks, Kamara, Pittman. I said Pittman. Hoff said Kamara.
Yeah. He basically just asked the same question. He just took Sutton out, but yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Anthony, BTJ, or Wandell. I'll take BTJ.
fine. I'll go Brian Thomas here. God, he's grossing me out.
There you go. Vindo with off the top rope with a super chat. This will be the last question that we answer today, unless somebody comes in with a super chat right after. He said, PPR bye week hitting my team. Who overall at the flex spot? Charbonnet, Travis Hunter, or Brashard Smith? Waiver has Keon, Tootin, and IU Manor. I would go with Charbonnet, but this is not a great situation to be in.
Yeah, this is fucking disgusting. I think
IU Manor's interesting.
Yeah, well, that's what I was gonna say, but then it's a matter of who would you drop then? Yeah, which unless there's a different name that you would drop, then I would just hang on to what you have, and I would go Charbonnet, but you are picking your poison. That's not something where I'm like, ooh, Charbonnet, cool. Like, it's Travis Hunter hasn't given you a ton. Brashad Smith, we'll see what's going to happen here. But at least this week, I would go with Charbonnet. Again, if you have somebody else to drop in place instead of these names, then I'd pick up IU Manor and play him.
Yeah, that's where I'm at too. Bob, Mayer, Hertz, PPR, Myers, Sutton, Igbuka, pick one. Thanks. I think we both agree on Igbuka, and we both agree on Hertz, Bob.
That we did.
Cool.
Bob Hope. Is that the Bob Hope? That would be sick.
Folks, that's going to do it for us. Thank you so much for watching. As always, we have much content coming out during the week. My defense video will be out tomorrow. Hoff's kicker video will be out as well. I will update my defense rankings in the community page as well on Twitter. I'm going to throw that out there once injury reports come out in the next hour and a half. See if there's any changements, any additions, and enjoy the games. And we'll see you guys next time.